Hello and welcome. This is Ann Baker, and this is part 6 in a series that is slowly but surely giving you an introduction to the Enneagram. And at this point, we are covering the last 3 types, the head types, types 5, 6, and 7. Previous sessions 4 and 5 covered the body types 8, 9, and 1, and the heart types 2, 3, and 4. So, okay, we're going to dive in. So the types 5, 6, and 7 are in the head triad. There's a lot of 3s in the Enneagram. So this is really about the intellect, thinking. Head types are they're evaluating, their initial way that they're going to interpret the world, and their experience is through the mental aspects. So thinking, gathering information, logic, the head types are looking for mental guidance to give that sense of certainty and safety. If I only had enough information, if I, only planned enough for the future, or if I can make enough contingency plans for my safety, I will be safe and happy. So the head center, with each triad, there's natural gifts that are natural for the head types that involve the head center, and then it can also trip them up, just like the body types, and the heart types. So each triad shares some common strengths and then weaknesses or assets and liabilities related to the dominant center. Okay, so we're going to talk about type 5 first, known as the investigator or the sage or the expert. So 5s, they value discovering, researching the world, researching new ideas. They love to understand and just dive deep into really understanding everything, a lot of times about a topic, but they're also really good at getting the big picture. They really value being open-minded, so they are very perceptive. They can be a little bit introverts, so they're good observers. They're very trustworthy. They value that. They really value time and space to think and investigate on their own. So they don't like that space intruded upon. It's like, just leave me alone to investigate. It's funny. I know a couple of 5s, and when I see them on FaceTime or Zoom, they've got a wall of books behind them. So they're really great at analytical tasks, problem solving, learning. They're really great at putting together pieces of a puzzle, and I don't mean like physical puzzle, but intellectual puzzles. At their best, they can be visionary pioneers, literally putting together concepts and helping others see the world maybe in a different way. So, and that can really be an amazing gift. So the essence quality is kind of a natural wisdom and clarity. I suspect as children, they were rewarded for being smart or having good ideas, or, having the answer about something. So then their ego fixation becomes, I am the one that's perceptive or knowledgeable. And they get hooked on that, and they feel like, I have to have the answer. I have to figure it out. And my safety and other people's safety depends on that. So their focus of attention is on potential intrusion, which is kind of interesting. They have very clear boundaries, and they don't want emotional intrusion. They don't want intrusion on their physical space or how they use their time. They feel like there's never going to be enough, you know? So their blind spot is this space of not knowing that I think we all have to live with at times. That creates huge anxiety. So, or this emptiness of feeling like something's missing, they're going to fill it up. So, fives tend to hold on to objects. They tend to collect things. Uh, they tend to collect people. They hold on to their feelings. They hold on. So their defense mechanism can be this isolation and withdraw. So it's a little bit different than the 9 about avoiding conflict. It's more this violation of my space, this intrusion. So they, because they're head types, they can be very disconnected with their physical bodies and also to their emotions in the heart space. So under stress, they can get a little or very distracted and are prone to not being organized. They can also talked about this with the detachment. They can withdraw and detach themselves from others. And then that can be difficult in relationships. People don't understand because they don't a lot of times talk about their feelings. Yeah, so that's the 5. Okay, we're going to move on to type 6, the loyalist. So they're also known as the guardian or the troubleshooter. So other books call them the loyal skeptic. So 6s, they're kind of complex. They value that loyalty and cooperation. They're huge team players, very loyal to a family or a social group or a team. They're extremely dependable. They value being trustworthy and stable, and they expect that. If they give you their commitment, they expect that trustworthiness and stability and dependability from the other person. So they can be very warm and loyal and fun and just really a great friend. They're excellent at problem solving. So 6s are very hyper vigilant for what can go wrong. Their nervous systems are a little wired for potential danger, and they can be seeking that out. I think that's part of the guardian aspect. So they're really good at roles that require that problem solving, creating solutions, identifying potential problems, really good at coming up with options. They got backup plans for their backup plans. And they really want to make the world a more safe, reliable place. So again, most 6s had some childhood situation where they felt like maybe they couldn't rely on the person that was supposed to protect them or provide safety, so they felt at a young age that they have to kind of create that and be hypervigilant looking out. So the essence quality is this loyalty and faith, but it can get distorted into, okay, I then have to be obedient or play by, a certain group's rules. And so sometimes there's a blind faith that happens once they make a commitment to a group or a philosophy or, a religion or political party or whatever. Then it's like, okay, I'm all in. And then they won't see actually some of the warning signs that maybe, it's not the group to belong to. So a lot of the focus of attention, though, can be on potential threats and uncertainty. The blind spot is deviance, or, I think a better word is nonconformity, or they're so if you belong to a group and you're different in some way, you're gonna repress that. So, um, that can lead to issues. So then, there could be positive feelings that you neglect, and negative feelings could be different personality, traits or qualities. So then that defense mechanism is projecting that out. Those things that you've put in the shadow can be projected out. So under stress, the six can really double down on the worry and get paralyzed by that. Sixes tend to have a lot of self-doubt, and they can, even though they've been successful over and over again in meeting their challenges, um, it's like those successes, those wins have never happened. It's like a whole new playing field every time. So a really great strategy for a six is to write down their wins, write down the times, reflect, okay, I've been through a challenging time. I'm going to write down that I got through it, and how did I get through it? And that can help them relax, because their anxiety can really fuel that overwork. Okay, so moving on to type 7. So, how I said the opposites can be next to each other. Well, the type 7, well, their focus is on being joyful, enthusiastic, spontaneous. A lot of times they don't see the potential dangers like the sixes are obsessed about. Sevens are also known as the visionary or the energizer. They bring an upbeat energy to a relationship, to a group. They value joy and variety. So they really bring that energy to whatever situation that they're in. So they tend to be popular, have lots of friends and opportunities. They love creating opportunities. They're not static individuals. They see opportunities that other people may totally miss. So in working in a group, they're the ones that are come up with creative options that, might not be possible, but that might break through the box that everybody's kind of stuck in, that could lead to, a realistic solution to something. So they're very versatile and accomplished. They tend to be quick learners, have a lot of different skills, sets, and talents. They love to learn new things. So that's another aspect they know a lot about. They've done a lot of different things. They love to travel, experience new things. They really want to experience life fully. So that essence quality of joy, the ego grabs that and gets fixated on, okay, I'm okay all the time. And I'm going to focus my attention on the pleasant options of life and creating those options and planning for those options. So, which is, that's rewarded in our society. We have a lot of focus on positive thinking and all of that. But where sevens get into trouble, the blind spot shadow is really about ignoring pain, ignoring potential issues that are coming up. This the six focuses on, right? And they hate limitation. They do not want to be limited in any way. But sometimes achieving or realizing what they truly desire, there's a natural limitation to that. So they can ignore pain signals, but mental health, emotional health, physical health, until something, really gets their attention. So the defense mechanism is called sublimation, which is when you channel these unwanted feelings into some acceptable or productive outlet. So maybe you have a lot of anger and you naturally tell your friends, let's go out and, go to a club and go dancing. It's going to get that anger out. So in a lot of ways, this can have a positive spin. It can be really great coping mechanisms, but if the pain or the limitation isn't accepted, if you found positive ways to get an outlet for it, but you're not really owning what's going on, that can cause more suffering in the long run. So under stress, sevens can get really critical, like a one can get really, that inner critic can turn on, can get critical of others, can get scattered and have a hard time actually completing projects. They can get bored easily. They hate doing mundane tasks. As kids, they probably hated doing their homework. Again, they fear and avoid limitations. So the other side of that is that they can really get overextended and fall into exhaustion. And some sevens I know say that they feel like they don't want to let people down. So they know maybe they want to say no to a social invitation, but they fear letting people down because they know that they can bring a positivity to people. So they feel that obligation to bring that energy all the time. So a lot of times, sevens tell me, I just want to be in a bad mood, or I just want to, stay home and rest. So, okay, so that's the completion of all the type descriptions. So for this set, it's really helpful to reflect on how type 5 shows up in you. Do you feel this compulsive need to do a lot of research and understand something, and feel like that's going to give you safety? Do you, you know, have an issue with being intruded upon without really talking about your feelings? For type 6, how's your nervous system wired? Do you have that aspect where, you're just kind of waiting for the next shoe to drop, checking for the emergency exits? Can you find balance with relaxing your nervous system? And for type 7, can you allow the joy and the sadness? It's like both sides of the same coin, allowing yourself to fill up your own cup every once in a while, and accepting that pain and limitation are just a part of life, and we can learn from those, and sometimes those boundaries help us grow. Okay, so that's the reflection for these, and our next topic is going to be, some of the spiritual and growth patterns, or tips for using the Enneagram for how to find balance for the different types. Okay, we'll see you next video.